Hi, my name is Layla Flemings, and today I will be presenting a film analysis on Mean Girls. I was introduced to this film a long time ago while I was over my cousin's house, and she put this film on, and ever since, the Jingle Bell Rock dance done by the Plastics has stuck with me. I feel like it's the perfect time of year to watch it, and I thought I wouldn't get bored, which I didn't while I was watching it. And I believe it also shows how social pressure, popularity, and identity can influence people's behavior. I think this is what made it great for my sociological analysis. To begin, this film was directed by Mark Walters, produced by Lorne Michaels, and it was aired in 2004, written by Tina Fey. It was produced in Toronto, Canada, and it's based on Rosalind Wiseman's nonfiction book, Queen Bees and Wannabes. To summarize it, we go through the life of the main character, Cady Heron, as she enters town, and she's the new girl in school, arriving in high school for the first time, a public high school, after being homeschooled in Africa for 12 years with her family, and she navigates cliques, specifically a group called the Plastics. She experiences a huge amount of pressure to fit in and later learns to accept who she is and take accountability for the mistakes she's created along her journey. The characters in this film are Cady Heron. She's socialized at home to be kind, honest, and focused on school while with her parents in Africa. And as she navigates high school, her behavior changes when she joins the Plastics. She learns gossip, popularity rules, and overall very mean behavior. Regina George, seen right here, is socialized to be dominant and in control. She's the queen bee of the school. So she uses her popularity, beauty, and manipulation to keep power over others. Gretchen Wiener is socialized to seek approval from Regina, follow rules, and she lies to stay accepted into the Plastics. Karen Smith is socialized to be passive and go along with the group. Rarely questions Regina or the Plastics' behavior, but she's more of a comical character. Janice and Damien are socialized as outsiders who reject popularity. They're taught that their differences are weird and abnormal. So in the film, you'll see them being basically scrutinized a lot. But they challenge social norms and embrace being different overall. The theory I believe best explains this film is the conflict theory. Basically, in this film, the girls are fighting over status and power. Everybody wants to be the queen bee of the school. Everybody wants to run the school because what comes with status and powers are cute boys like Aaron Samuels, a very popular guy who everybody wants to date. He's a varsity jock, basically. He's in sports, and he's handsome to the women in the show. And people admire the person that's at the top. They do whatever they basically want to do. As you can see right here, there's girls in the film that have cut their tops, and that's because Regina George is the queen bee, so whatever she does, she influences everybody else to do because she has that power. So when you're at the top, everybody admires you. They tend to respect you more than others, and they don't treat you as bad as they would those that are lower on the hierarchy. So they want to fight over power and status. Open stratification. That is what I believe best fits this film. I believe this because people can move up or down in the hierarchy. So for example, we have Cady here, who started off as the weird new girl, but she moves up and becomes a Plastic. This is someone who is very popular. They're at the top of the hierarchy. And she did this because she changes her clothes, the way she acts, and she basically does this to fit in. So we can see her moving up. We see Regina even move down a bit. This is an example of his scribe status. Another example of how people can move up and down on the hierarchy. She gains weight from protein bars, and people start picking on her and treating her differently than they did at first because they believe she's weird now. She's not desirable because she has some weight on her. We see ascribed status from wealth and physical appearance, for example, like Regina and also like Katie. Katie's very beautiful, so she moves high up. She can do that because she's beautiful, so she can move up higher in the hierarchy. And Regina's very wealthy, and she's skinny, she's blonde. She's basically the beauty standard during this time in this film. So that's why she was able to gain that queen bee status so easily. Yeah. The looking glass concept is very much seen in this film through Katie, in my opinion. She goes from the weird new girl, to plastic. Like I said many times before, at first, when she first arrived at the school, she had trouble finding seats. She got laughed at. She was getting yelled at by the teachers a lot. And she was sweet, she was innocent, she was smart, she was friendly, she was trusting. But after she commits to the scheme to take down Regina George, she starts finding herself inching towards the plastic behavior. And everybody else sees this as well. So that's when Katie puts on new clothes, she styles herself differently, she does her hair differently, she starts to act differently. And people see her as one of the plastics now. So she's accepted into the clique at school and given access to their benefits. And as we see, as Janice says, she's not pretending anymore. Katie is plastic, cold, shiny, hard plastic. She becomes what everybody else thinks of her and has been telling her. And after we see Katie become popular, she's kind of rude to other people. She's jealous of Regina George. She's a little selfish. She gossips a lot. And she even participates in the Burn Book, a book that is basically drawn up to throw shade at others, gossip about them, and create rumors that are harmful. Social rules. In this film, we have Regina George, the queen bee. She's the girl who sets the standards. She's the girl that tells everybody when to move, how high to jump, and what to do. So since she's the plastic and the most powerful girl in school, she's expected to be dominant, manipulative, and always in control. Regina uses her beauty and her popularity to influence how others behave, and her power depends on everyone accepting her role as the queen. Now we have Gretchen and Karen. In this show, being a friend is different. As Regina's friends, their main role is to keep up the look of the plastics. They must wear pink on wear pink on Wednesdays. They have to keep up their status and look beautiful and basically follow Regina and please her. And they always repeat Regina's rules and ideas. So that's kind of their role in this world, in this girl world, honestly. They're basically like Regina's loyal sidekicks, always trying to please her to maintain their power in this film. The dramaturgical perspective concept is best shown through Regina George. She is described as flawless, and she owns it in front of a crowd. She's very confident who she is in front of everyone. When she walks in a room, eyes are turned towards her. And it makes it seem like she doesn't care what other people think. She's just this queen bee who runs the world. But behind closed doors, her backstage, we see her repeating she needs to lose 3 pounds. She shows insecurity. And it's best shown when her friend Gretchen tells Katie that she's gotten a nose job. Nobody knows this except for people like her closest friends and Regina herself. So her backstage is basically her insecurities that she doesn't show to the world, because in this system, she already knows this system where you can't have mistakes. You can't show those mistakes. And basically, it's like she's in a play. Front stage, she has to be perfect and flawless. Backstage, she can relax and chill a bit. And basically, yeah, she's kind of insecure. In this show, false consciousness is shown through the whole hierarchy as it is. People believe believers of the social hierarchy don't really do anything to stop it from going. They kind of add fuel to the fire, and they don't even realize it's harming them as well. For example, Regina George is described as a life ruiner. She's also described as somebody that evil takes in human form. The plastics accept strict rules, looks, clothes, behaviors, and is basically normal. And at North Shore High, students believe popularity equals power and happiness. Many girls and many students believe that the plastics ideology is what brings them happiness. And when they fail to become a part of this ideas that they're pushing out, they kind of get picked on a lot. You see some of the rumors about the girls where they're talking about their appearance, the things they do. And in the end, we see it all blow up in the burn book where everybody's expected to be perfect, but people aren't truly perfect. Nobody's perfect. So we see them basically getting gossiped about, made rumors of, and in the end, it comes back to bite them because everybody's fighting with each other. Their secrets are out. They're kind of losing their confidence, and everything's just brought to the light. Gender roles. This film strongly reflects traditional gender roles. The girls are pressured to focus on appearance, dieting, and fashion. Their value is tied to beauty and perfection. Rules like, on Wednesdays we wear pink, and constant body criticism show how femininity is nearly defined. So the plastics follows these strict beauty and fashion standards because they believe that is what being a feminine woman is about. We see they changed Katie up, and I like that I use this picture because it shows how they're trying to do her hair, do her makeup, do everything to make her perfect. And that's what they believe being a woman is all about. Being a queen bee is all about. They had to be perfect. They had to have the perfect body, the perfect hair, the best makeup. Everything has to be feminine and perfect. And yeah, these expectations create insecurity and competition rather than confidence. The peers around Katie is something that definitely influences her behavior a lot. For example, I wrote, "Dear Katie, on Wednesdays we wear pink." This is going to be a quote you see a lot because it reflects so many things. Katie is taught that wearing pink or having girly clothes is what she needs to be. That's what being a woman is all about. Having makeup, wearing heels. And we see popular peers enforce rules through approval or exclusion. We see that Katie joins the plastics in her value ship. She learns gossip, manipulation, and competition from her friends. Peer approval becomes more important than honesty or kindness. This shows how peers can influence identity more strongly than family, especially during adolescence. Fear of rejection keeps these students following group norms, specifically Katie. And peer groups encourage conformity over individuality. Stereotypes are seen a lot throughout this film. For example, we have a couple up here where there's a table full of Asian nerds. And in this film, nerds are losers or the smart geeks, and it's a stereotype that Asians are the smartest race. We see there's a table full of girls who eat their feelings, and at this table, there's a lot of plus size people we see. We see there's a table full of varsity jocks. You see them behaving kind of crazy, rubbing their heads together because in America's school system, that is what our movies or people seem to think of jocks as idiots that are athletic. And another example is Katie's title as a homeschool jungle freak. People call her this because they believe that homeschool kids are weird, religious, heavily religious, or just absolute freaks, honestly. And we see this even more stereotypes, specifically racial stereotypes, when Katie is introduced in the class as a new African student, and the teacher immediately looks at the black student. She's like, "Oh, are you the new student?" And the new student is like, "No." The girl's like, "No, I'm from Michigan." And that's because a lot of times people think that people from Africa are black, or only people in Africa are black. And we see a similar situation or comment when Karen asks Katie, "If you're not from Africa, then why are you white?" So basically, Karen's assumed that anyone from Africa must be black, and it shows and highlights ignorance and common misconceptions about race and geography. Lastly, according to Merton's divine adaptation, rebellion occurs when people reject both societal goals and the accepted ways to achieve them. I feel like this is best shown through Janice, and Damien, and specifically through Janice because she refuses to follow beauty and femininity standards. Janice openly criticizes the social hierarchy and she wants to stay true to herself. People think that she's lesbian because she doesn't have the heels, the very vibrant makeup, all these girly colors like pink. She doesn't conform to the standards and the overwhelming pressure that this school has placed on the women. Lastly, what I've learned about me through this film is to always stay true to myself, no matter how many times people tell me I'm weird or that I'm a freak or that I should be doing this or behaving this way, because you can start to lose who you are, lose sight of your goals from conforming to other people's perspectives and opinions. And I also learned that revenge can bring out the worst in me. I never want to drive myself off a bridge just to take the passenger out with me, because that's basically what Katie did in this film. She kept trying to have revenge on Regina George, and she started losing sight of who she was, and she eventually adapted such evil or manipulative habits of the same person she hated. I want to embrace my flaws, no matter how bad they are, because they are what makes me me. Being perfect is unattainable. Nobody is perfect. Everybody has flaws. And instead of trying to shun them or hide behind them through manipulation like Regina George, I want to stay true to who I am. I learned about things I learned about society, that people often lose themselves to fit in. It's it's hard navigating high school as an incoming freshman and seeing so many people do cool stuff, or seeing that people have cliques and they're gossiping about things, or they're liking these things and you don't like them. And people just want to find that someone that they can relate to. So that's what Katie did through this film, and we've seen it turned out horrible. I learned that in society, perfection is unrealistic. A lot of people try to achieve it, but like I said before, nobody's perfect. I also learned that people are influenced by those in power, whether they are right or wrong. Regina George and her queen bee, or her complex that she has, godly complex, we see that she's not a great person. She has done things that are wrong and said things that are wrong, but people don't seem to really care about it. And that's because she's socially beautiful. She's acceptable to society and their beauty standards, and she has the wealth, she has the hair, she has the face. And whether she says to go jump off a bridge or to go eat some salad, nobody cares. Nobody cares what she does, and they're willing to ask her how high to jump, no matter how high she asks. I would definitely recommend this film to girls about to start high school and anyone struggling with peer pressure because one, it's a funny movie. Two, it offers life lessons about toxic behaviors and it shows them, I think it will show them to steer away from it, especially young girls who, want to gossip or something. And I think it highlights the importance of staying true to yourself. Always be who you are, remember who you are, remember your roots and where you came from. My sources in this PowerPoint is the film itself and the book that we're reading in this class. And that is the end of my PowerPoint. I hope you enjoyed.